My name is Drake Levey, and I'm from Stuttgart, Arkansas, and my passion is chasing mallard ducks. So when I was 5, my mom and dad took me up to Stuttgart, Arkansas on Main Street. Pat Peacock and a few others were putting on a calling clinic for kids. Out of all them kids, I was the only one that was blowing a duck call the right way. Thankfully, Dad, he showed me a few things before we went up there so I didn't look like a total buffoon. Lo and behold, a few days later, we see the newspaper and it says, future world champion.
Is it recording? Okay. Oh, I mean, when that came out, I knew that somebody had seen something in him. So to have those memories captured by somebody else was pretty something special.
So after seeing that newspaper article, I had no choice to try to chase that dream, to try to fulfill what they said in the newspaper. So that next year, we went to Butch, practiced a lot. Here come contest day, really nervous. I remember counting the notes on my hands to make sure I was doing what I needed to do, and sure enough, it come time for them to announce the winners. First place was Drake Levey, and I could not have been more excited. Here come the next year, won that contest. I was on top of the world right there. So Butch, I guess, had it in his mind that, son, I'm gonna show you something.
When Butch or John was going through the routine, we knew whether it was a tucka or a blow or a chatter.
So after winning back-to-back years, here come year 3, I thought I was gonna be the big man on the block, go 3 and out. Sure enough, old Butch, he had a different plan for me. He's like, son, we're gonna move you up in class. I was a little scared, a little nervous, but I thought I could hang with him. Well, here come contest day, and I ended up placing 3rd in that contest, and I was mad as all get out. But I think what happened was that lit a fire underneath me to work hard and do what needed to be done to win that next year. My last year, he announced, instead of saying my name, Drake Levey, he said, your winner, Smiley. Yeah, you know, marched my happy tail up there, smiling from ear to ear. I thought I was the greatest man on earth, you know. It was a really, really good time, and I'll definitely cherish that for a very, very long time. So I was 14, I had a school project. It was a job shadowing. My dad was good buddies with some of the guys up there at R&T. He got me the chance to go up there and job shadow a few guys for a day and learn a few things. And I really liked kind of what was going on, you know, and asked them, like, y'all need any help for the summer? And sure enough, here come into school season. 14 years old and I had me a job. But not only did I have a job, I had a secret in my pocket almost. You know, I had Butch Richenbach, the founder of R&T Calls, big, great legend in the duck call world, that I was working side by side, you know. And I can remember specifically a couple times I'd be squawking and not really hitting what I'm needing to hit, and it'd go, Greg, you squawk again, I'm gonna knock this acrylic rod right across the top of your head. And sure enough, you'd go in that next room and you would not squawk. So after that summer of working at R&T, my life kind of changed a little bit. You know, I got more involved in sports, found out that I really loved football and I was really, really good at it. Well, I go to college. I went to Arkansas Tech University in Russellville, Arkansas. Went and played football. My freshman year, in the spring game, I tore my MCL, meniscus, and I cracked my tibia. I just didn't really bounce back from it mentally. And I told myself, you know what, I'm ready to go home, start working, figure it out, you know. Just gonna be a local at Stuttgart, not really doing anything for myself. And sure enough, here come John Stevens. He called me one day on my lunch break and asked if I want to come in for an interview. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I remember there was a red toolbox behind one of the CNC machines that had a daisy cutter sitting on it. And I would go back there in between shifts of pressing buttons and blow duck calls. Finally, they got tired of hearing me blowing duck calls and told me no more of that. And then they're needing somebody to come in the tuning room to help pick up some slack. So I take this mallard green insert to Jim. So I valued his opinion, you know, it's his call. And I wanted to make sure that I was doing right by him. And I take it to him and he hits a few licks and he goes, partner, I think you got her figured out. So I was like, ain't no way. And sure enough, you know, when someone of that stature tells you you're doing things right, man, that gives you all the confidence in the world.
I don't exactly remember when I met Drake, but I distinctly remember thinking that I had won the 2016 Cut Down Championship. It got down to the final 3 callers, and I didn't know who either one of the other 2 callers really were. Dang it, Drake Levey didn't win the contest. And it stung. Something I've never forgotten. I remind Drake about it every few days. But I remember thinking, someone can flat blow a duck call.
So in 2014 was my first year to compete in the World Cut Down Contest. You know, I was extremely nervous. Well, I blew the first round. I got through it clean. Thought I was good enough to go to the second round. Apparently not. First year in a World Cut Down Contest, your boy got cut. 2016 happened. I don't think anybody knew who I was for the most part. I blew 3 extremely clean routines, and sure enough, ended up beating Spencer Halford in 2016 for the World Cut Down title. And that was it from there. I was like, oh yeah, I got it figured out. Sure enough, 17 rolled around. I messed up, throat locked up, squawked or something. 2018 rolled around. Thought I was good. Squawked, didn't make it out of the first round. Well, after 18, I remember storming off after being cut. I knew I was done and walked back to my truck that was parked over there at the shop at R&T, and I was about this close to grabbing that ring that I won in 16 and throwing it in the pond. It was like, this is a curse. I don't want it anymore. Well, all I had to do is go back to the drawing board with old Jimbo, restructure a few things, figure some stuff out, go back to the basics. And 2019 rolled around, and I practiced my rear end off, and sure enough, I was lucky enough to bring home second world championship title with my name on it, and that meant the world to me. I remember going, after winning, walking inside R&T, and it was shoulder to shoulder in that building because it was the first year of the Callapalooza, and you couldn't fit another person in that building. I walked in, and first person saw me and started hooping and hollering. I raised it up above my head. The whole place was just a big roar, you know, give you chills. Well, I weaseled my way back there to my office where the general public was, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I broke down in tears because I was extremely excited, happy, couldn't believe it, just over the moon, you know. And I sat there in my office, I did a little prayer to God, thanking Him for helping me out, and well, get out of there, and we go have us a good old grand time with all my buddies, and just an awesome day. Then, following that, COVID happened, and we didn't really have any contests for a year, and 2021 came around. Well, I wasn't working at R&T anymore, so I was a little worried. You know, I didn't feel like I was as good as I was in 19, in 21. Went back to Stuttgart, Main Street on the big stage, and sure enough, I got lucky enough, and I won my third world title in 21 on the Main Street stage of Stuttgart, which made it even more special because that's where it all started and happened and made a big full circle.
As a parent, seeing your child with his dream, because he's dreamed about this for so long, this is something really special. When you see your child do something that they really love and you know they really love it, I mean, it's just like up here in your heart. Makes the mama proud.
So after winning my third World Cut Down contest, I was no longer working on the farm. I had a week to prepare, get my things in order, and my old buddy TJ Mallet and Ashton Mallet, they had a guide service up there in Canada called Black Duck Waterfowl, and they offered me a job, and sure enough, I jumped on it. My old lady, good Lord Lauren, we went back and forth on whether I should go or not, and I kind of had enough of working on the farm, and she finally just got tired of me griping about it and told me to take off. Said we'll figure about how to get married later. Around Thanksgiving time, old Halford, we're texting back and forth, and I'm laying in bed, and he asked me, he says, what do you do in the off season when it ain't hunting season? And I told him, well, we're about to go up North Arkansas, start a trout guiding service. And he was like, man, I really wish you just come work for me. And I remember laying in bed, I was like, oh God. I showed it to Lauren, and she was like, what the heck?
One of the things that we had talked about was replicating the model that we had achieved some success with Josh Grossenbacher. We hired him in 2020 to be the face of our turkey call brand, and it gave us somebody that was an expert and somebody that was really a specialist in their field. And I really was pushing my partners to do the same thing in the waterfowl space, to let me be, you know, the brand manager, kind of see the big picture and cast a vision, but to have somebody who was a turkey call nerd managing the turkey call department, and somebody that was a straight up duck call nerd managing the waterfowl. It was the day before Thanksgiving, that would have been 2021, that I found out my partners wanted to sell their portion of Rolling Thunder. And I remember at Thanksgiving dinner, I told my family I had a hard decision to make and was seriously contemplating a major career change. And I'll never forget, I left that meeting and I sent a text message to the only guy that I knew for a fact had straight up beaten me on a day when I brought my best in 2016. Sent Drake a text and I said, hey, what are you doing Friday at lunchtime? I knew it was going to be Black Friday. I knew I was going to be in Stuttgart, and I had a pretty good feeling Drake would also be in Stuttgart. And so we sat down there the day after Thanksgiving and had lunch at the Lotus Blossom Chinese buffet on Main Street. We talked about life. We talked about what he wanted to do with his career, and an opportunity that I thought was about to present itself. I'll never forget, I asked Drake what he wanted to do with his life, and he said, I asked him what I said was, what's your dream job? Like, if you could do anything, what's your dream job? And Drake did not miss a beat, and he said, man, I'd really like to be like Jim Ronquest. I'd like to be the face of somebody's waterfowl brand. And I left that meeting and I sent my wife a text message and I said, I found our man.
He said the right words, had me interested. We thought about it for a while, prayed about it, and the next thing you know, your boy was coming to Tennessee for a little bit of work, and he brought me on, and we redesigned the Brute. We redesigned the Brute R, and then the next was coming up with a new call, new Brute, Brute XL. And sure enough, we made us a Brute XL that's pretty dang popular. People like it. Now we offer a Brute XLS. It's a shorter version, and a lot of people love it. Well, the whole entire time we were making this call, I was thinking to myself, if we can make this little adjustment and this little adjustment here, we'd have a really good call. Brute XL is a great call, but it doesn't fit me exactly how I would love a call to be. So I kept those thoughts in the back of my head because I knew coming down the line, we're going to be coming out with a call that was based off of what I like. And sure enough, we've done that now, and man alive, it's a ringer, it's a runner, it's a track star, whatever you want to call it. You know, it does everything you could possibly want in a duck call, and it feels even better when you're doing it. This call, man, it's something that not everybody gets to do. Not everybody has their name on a duck call. Some guys do, you know, some guys that own the companies, they have their name on the duck call, sure. But for somebody that doesn't own a duck call company, that works for a duck call company, and gets to put their name on a duck call, that's pretty dang cool. And I can't thank Spencer Halford enough for trusting me and trusting Mark on certain things and Kobe on certain things, you know, and letting us fill everything out in every way possible to produce what we've made now. And the Levey Cut is something that I think a lot of people are gonna like.
I think one of the coolest things about where we are today is that this call and this moment, this opportunity for Drake and for Rolling Thunder, they didn't just appear. Drake has absolutely earned this moment and this opportunity. He has earned it by making the place that he works, this place, and this team better in every way, top to bottom. And I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of that for Drake, and I'm proud of that for Rolling Thunder, because we were making great calls for a lot of years, but we're making greater calls because of the teamwork and because of the talent that we've assembled here. And Drake is right right at the very heart and soul of that. And I'm really proud of him.
I know that Drake has always said about making his own duck call, having his own duck call, and after he won the 3rd world contest, he said, I'm not gonna blow again until I make my own call, and it's gotta be perfect. And so for him to put his name on this duck call, I know it is the best of what he's got right now, and that's it just makes him almost heart, oh, it's awesome. So proud of him.
It's extremely easy to get natural duck sounds that are it's easy to operate, it's loud, it's aggressive, it's this, that, and the other. I could take it on stage right now and blow in a contest with it, you know, and that says a lot because I'm extremely picky. That being said, you know, not everybody's gonna be able to blow it. That's okay. That's why we have different duck call options, you know. I mean, it's just a personal preference, and hopefully it's a personal preference for a lot of folks. So all in all, given this experience of getting to create my own duck call, you know, it's pretty cool and humbling. And I got to give a huge thank you to Spencer Halford for giving me this opportunity and trusting in me and believing what I'm wanting to do. And also a huge shout out to my parents, my family for supporting me and believing in me. And a huge thank you to my dad for introducing me into the outdoor world and sparking that fire that still burns. Very true to this day. That being said, there's one more person I'd like to show some appreciation towards, and that's a good buddy, Jim Ronquest. Whether he knows it or not, he's taught me so much with working on duck calls, blowing duck calls, working ducks, this, that, and the other. You know, I can go on and on and on, and it's just, I'd like to just say thanks, Jim, for helping me out, whether you knew it or not. It definitely does not go unappreciated, and I'm very grateful to call you my friend.